Hi, it's Deborah Atkinson, the author of You Still Got It Girl, the After 50 Fitness Formula for Women, and I am here sitting in a stretch to drive home a point. There are 5 major components in every workout. It doesn't matter if your workout is 10 minutes long, or if it's 20, or if you actually have an hour. Who has that anymore? But you need to have these 5 components there to prevent injury, to get better results. That stretch or that warm up that you just think you can skip, or that cool down stretch that you think you can skip, help you prevent injury. But at the beginning of your workout, that slow warm up, revving your engine up slowly, actually helps you burn more calories. So if it's all about burning energy, using stored fat, you don't want to skip that. Remember your why. So here are those 5 components. Number 1, you want to do an active warm-up. And that means if you're downstairs in your basement, maybe that's getting in your treadmill time, 5 minutes, starting at the speed that's very comfortable and progressively warming up. So I use a minute and I'll add 0.2 of a mile. Or I'll do a minute and I'll add 1% incline. So progressively, by the time 5 minutes has gone by, I'm working quite a bit harder, but I didn't notice it dramatically increasing at any time. So let yourself adapt and get used to it. What that does for you, increases your circulation, increases your respiration, and when you're doing that, you're delivering more oxygen to all of the muscles. Your body needs that oxygen there in order to burn fat better. If you start sweating earlier in your workout, there's a good chance you're burning a little bit more fat. So if you're a sweater, it's a good thing. It's not a bad thing. Second part is now a functional warm-up. So there's a 2-part warm-up. One is doing that active warm-up that elevates respiration, gets your circulation going, but there's nothing very specific about it. Second one is doing something that's got a little bit more of a balance component to it. It involves your core, not core exercises, but maybe you're reaching down and you're touching the floor, and I'll show you a little footage here. Third thing, it's your main set. Now you're ready to go. So your core temperature is elevated, you're a little bit more alert, and your core and balance are on. Everybody's paying attention. That actually kind of helps your right brain, left brain match to the rest of your body, especially if you've been sitting all day or maybe just got up and you're working out in the morning. So your core set, maybe that's your 30 minutes of cardiovascular exercise that day, or more likely, it's interval training, right? Because everybody's short on time, and it's a great way to use time wisely and efficiently and effectively. So it might be a minute on of hard, minute on of easy, but that's your main set. Then you're gonna do your core exercise. Why is it 4th? Because if you wanna do it either after you do cardio, or maybe your main set was strength training today, or it's a little of both. You wanna do your core exercise after you're done using your core for stabilizing you during other activity. Otherwise, we wear out that core and you may not be as stable when you go to do a bench press or lift a heavy weight. You may not be as stable when you go to hop over BOSUs. And it's important that you keep that stability ready to help you retain your balance and regain when you're doing reaction kinds of skills and drills that you might be doing. So save your core until the end. And think about it this way, you probably actually need less core than you think, because it's the other activity that really helps you stabilize, get a flat belly. So you want to make sure that if you're boxing, you realize that entire time you're boxing is all about rotation, core stabilization. And so you need to do potentially less core, stay with more strength training, more cardio, and you'll get better core from doing that. The very last thing is the 5th and most important, but also most often left out, is stretching. So that's the best time for you to do static types of stretching that lengthen the muscle. So in particular, a lot of us spend our time sitting. We need to stretch our hip flexors in the front, but we also need to get to our back and our hamstrings. So you want to think about properly stretching for about 15 to 30 seconds for holds. And so if I want to stretch my hamstrings that cross that hip joint, I need to have a tall back and I need to hinge forward from my hip in order to stretch it. So I'm not rounding my back, which is actually a back stretch, but probably one that's not safe. So you can do a safer back exercise another way. Think about your goal for your stretch and stretch that specifically. So don't skip it, especially this time of year when you're getting outside, doing a little bit more walking or running. If you're in the northern hemisphere, make sure you stretch those calves, because shin splints due to an imbalance or extra tight calves and weak anterior tibialis or front of your shin muscle can lead to some problems. So if you don't stretch once or twice, will it catch up with you? No, but it develops a really bad habit that you get too used to doing and thinking you got away with. But I'll come back to bite you, you know where. So all 5 components every single time, and I'll see you next time.